really is the value of the body. Do you believe that there's no such thing of a space where someone can be engaged in sex work from a positive framework around owning one's body? Or do you think all sex work is around the devaluing of the body? That's one. And then to ask Colin Kyrie, because Genova, you brought up this notion that particularly, and you know that, you all know this, that in the last 10 years, gay men in the houseball community have outnumbered trans women in the sex work. And so wondering around you that same question in terms of men engaged in sex work. Is there a space? Do we allow for a space for someone to say, this is not about devaluing my body, I'm very powerful in this body?
I definitely believe that there is a group of people working in porn or the sex industry that are there because not because of the circumstance, but because they want to be. You know, it's not a financial situation where they can't eat, but this is the life they choose to lead. And not for us to judge, you know, what's meaningful or what's meaningful to them. You know, it's a decision. It's totally their decision to make. I don't think that's a judgment that we should make on people's lives. Now, I take issue with you having to, you know, turn to sex work because there are no other options out there for you, because you can't go to school, because you can't get a job because of the trans racism. I mean, that whole aspect of it. So yeah.
I don't see the devaluing in the sex work, because in the work you are owning your body, you are owning yourself, and you are projecting that. Where I see the devaluing is in the negotiation to get to the work.
Well, you know, it's so funny because, you know, I don't know that I differentiate sex work from any other type of work. And I think that's another conversation that we should be having as Black, gay, queer people. You know, the selling of one's wages is just as demeaning in most places in corporate America down to sex work, right? And I think that there is something about, well, what do we mean when we say job security, or what do we mean about access and responsibility and this kind of transgression into spaces that are like valueless for our work? And I say that happens through the resources of one's own community. I mean, I work in a business where, you know, the work that comes across my table is purely word of mouth, right? So I start to wonder, well, how do we build bridges in our own community so that the work that we desire to be doing is coming to us, and it's not something that we have to work so hard for. I know kids who want to be, you know, star singers and be on Broadway, or might want to produce television films, and it's just as inaccessible to them as it is to a kid who might want to not do sex work but be forced to. So I think there's a larger conversation about how do we get people into spaces of power and controlling their wages, controlling their earning potential, and that has to be something that we support one another in doing. And a lot of times it's just about being on the outside. How do we get on the inside? And getting to a room where there's more than one of us. So it's not just sex work, it's about the value, it's about value, and about human capital, and how do we value ourselves, and how does the world value us? And a lot of times as Black people, as Black gay people, certainly we're seen as nothing. So who's going to value us but ourselves?
And one of the things too is this notion, I mean, public health engages in the work around safer sex, but harm reduction. But harm reduction in relationship to public health was not created by public health. It was created by a sex worker named Michael Cowley. And so that in what we do as a community historically was created by sex workers. Half of the time, particularly during the AIDS crisis, if it was not for sex workers, half of the shit we know about the spread of HIV, we wouldn't know. And so there's a piece, and I do hear you around the negotiation, but I do wonder around, and I think I appreciate your point around what is it, and you said it's not about moral values, but there is a piece of morality that's been embedded in us about the women, and particularly from a Christian context. I'm always confused because we are taught about an incarnation of Jesus. And so incarnation is of the body, and so this alienation from one's body is always amazing to me. And then we said that it's not morality, but somewhere deeply in our consciousness, this moral kind of old record plays over and over again.
So, let me break it down to you. Some of the things that, when I speak, I'm speaking from experience. So, my experience with sex work and sex workers. I also, after a while, in 2005, I started working at a place called Bronx Community Crisis Center. And I then became a peer counselor to my sisters. Now, spanning 20 years, from around, I would say 1992, right, to 2012, I engaged many transgender women, all right? My sisters who also do sex work. I have not heard one of them to this day on a one-on-one basis. Now on media, it's glamorized. They're like, yes, this is me, this is who I am, blah, blah, blah. But you put that same woman in my office, or you put her on a phone call with me, and when you get to the bottom of it, it is a matter of her feeling like, look, I'm not good enough to do anything else, so therefore, this is all I can do. When you speak to cisgender women who are in sex work, yes, glamorized and everything like that, but you speak to them one-on-one and you break it down, you're starting to see a history of mental instability or domestic violence or childhood abuse, childhood molestation. For some people, and I'm a victim of this, molested and raped as a child, but the attention made me feel accepted. So for a lot of my sisters, they're not doing sex work because they're actually saying, I want to do this, this is me. They're saying, I have to survive, or I don't know any other way. This is all I have. This is my value, is for me to give you my body. And when you don't receive it, or you don't want it, then my entire aura, my psyche is pulled down. So on one-to-one levels, that is why I can actually say that it is devaluing, because many of the women that I have encountered and spoken with on one-on-one basis, it is not something that they really and truly enjoy. Cisgender, even the boys, they're like, well, my uncle raped me, so therefore I'm just gonna keep going. You know, if they're gonna take it from me anyway, I may as well get paid for it.